Chicago, spring of 2063. At the home of Barry and Joyce Monroe, founders of the Cultbusters. They are being visited by Jessi. Barry said you were making something that might be of interest to me.
Yes, he and I went shopping at a mall yesterday. So I was using a public restroom and I found a gospel tract right next to the toilet paper when I reached for it. Take a look at it.
Gee, why do those idiots bother? Well, at least it wasn't one of those disgusting chick tracts.
After reading that, I decided we could counter their nonsense by using the Bible against them. So I made this.
Moses the Warlord. Numbers chapter 31, verses 1 through 18. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Avenge the people of Israel on the Midianites. Afterward you shall be gathered to your people. So Moses spoke to the people, saying, Are men from among you for the war, that they may go against Midian to execute the Lord's vengeance on Midian? You shall send 1,000 from each of the tribes of Israel to the war. So there were provided, out of the thousands of Israel, 1,000 from each tribe, 12,000 armed for war. And Moses sent them to the war, 1,000 from each tribe, together with Phinehas the son of Eleazar the priest, with the vessels of the sanctuary and the trumpets for the alarm in his hand. They warred against Midian, as the Lord commanded Moses, and killed every male. They killed the kings of Midian with the rest of their slain, Evi, Rechem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. And they also killed Balaam the son of Beer with the sword. And the people of Israel took captive the women of Midian and their little ones, and they took as plunder all their cattle, their flocks, and all their goods. All their cities in the places where they lived, and all their encampments, they burned with fire, and took all the spoil and all the plunder, both of man and of beast. Then they brought the captives and the plunder and the spoil to Moses, and to Eleazar the priest, and to the congregation of the people of Israel, at the camp on the plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho. Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the chiefs of the congregation went to meet them outside the camp. And Moses was angry with the officers of the army, the commanders of thousands and the commanders of hundreds, who had come from service in the war. Moses said to them, Have you let all the women live? Behold, these, on Balaam's advice, caused the people of Israel to act treacherously against the Lord in the incident of Peor, and so the plague came among the congregation of the Lord. Now therefore, kill every male among the little ones, and kill every woman who has known man by lying with him. But all the young girls who have not known man by lying with him keep alive for yourselves.
Yes, that's exactly what genocide looks like. But there's a problem. Remember, I grew up in a Jewish settlement on the West Bank. And a rabbi actually quoted from that horror story and said that what our distant ancestors did to the Midianites and the Canaanites, we should now do to the Palestinians. So there's a chance that knowing such a story might make a Jew or Christian more bigoted instead of deconverting them.
Well, what made you reject the Jewish religion and become atheist instead?
Simple. I learned also what happened to many of my distant relatives and ancestors in Europe during the Holocaust. And then it dawned on me that if we Israelis treated the Palestinians as horribly as the Nazis did Jews, we were indeed no better. Israel is actually one of the most bigoted states in the world, because Jews have allowed themselves to be supremacists there, and so they have no right to complain about Christian or Islamic supremacy anywhere else. Bigotry is bigotry, no matter where it comes from or who it is aimed at. So I left Israel and my Jewish identity behind and never looked back. Maybe someday I could reclaim that identity, but not as long as most people assume that my being Jewish must mean I am a Zionist. So it is not enough to throw out shocking Bible references at people. Ultimately, we must change people's views on what it means to be truly ethical, without any double standards with regards to race, religion, nationality, social class, gender, sexuality, or religious views. We must stop bigotry, because we are all one humanity, period.